communication. Okay. When I say the term social media, I think things like Facebook and Twitter and so on. In reality, we're not talking about those so much in this chapter as we are about some other forms of electronic communications that are used internally in businesses or externally with customers. Things like their websites and their may have some blogs or some discussion board type things. So we kind of see a blend of both of those going on, because I know now we have even Facebook sites for work applications as well. So we'll see a little bit of a crossover with that. So let's start with our intro video, and then we'll get into some details. So if you will, let me get to the share screen. Oh, by the way, Tuesday's lecture, for some reason, I hit stop instead of pause when we took one of our breaks. So there's actually listed there a part 1 and a part 2. So that's still, both parts are from Tuesday's lecture. Okay, hopefully you have our author on the board there.
For at least the past 20 years, the primary form of written business communication has been email. But many companies are increasingly adopting social media for communication between employees. I'm not referring to Facebook. I'm referring to customized social networking platforms that look a lot like Facebook, but are built for professional use. Many technology experts think these tools will become the most important communication tools within the next 5 to 10 years. Your generation is particularly well suited to adopt these tools. And you'll find that if you do use social media tools well for professional purposes, your professional opportunities will grow. I suggest adopting a learner mentality as you use these tools. You can apply many of the lessons you've learned from Facebook or other public social networks, but these corporate social networking tools are used for slightly different goals. In this chapter, we'll discuss some of the various social tools you can use in the workplace, including blogs, briefings, forums, or discussion boards, status updates, and others. Again, it's worth experimenting with these various tools to learn how to use them professionally. At the end of the chapter, you'll learn about managing your online reputation. This gives you an opportunity to start thinking about the professional reputation that you seek and how to use online tools to help you do that. So here's the challenge. Start thinking about how you can be a true contributor with the help of social media tools. One of the emerging rules of success with these tools is that you must be a giver, the type of professional that freely shares valuable information with others and helps colleagues with problems. You'll find that as you develop this contributor's mentality, you'll develop more rewarding and more valuable professional relationships.
Okay, so you can tell from the author's intro that he's clearly not focusing on tools like Facebook and Twitter. He's talking more about things like wikis and blogs and discussion boards and forums and that kind of thing. So although when I did a little bit of research on this chapter, I find again that social platforms like Facebook and Twitter are being used more and more for professional type work as well. So we'll see a little bit of a crossover, but your book really doesn't go into the Facebook and Twitter types of social media. Now, there's wonderful, wonderful advantages of using some of these social media tools. For instance, a meeting doesn't have to end just when everybody stands up from their chair and goes back to their office. There can be ways that you can contribute additional thoughts, additional comments, concerns, that kind of thing, by using some of these tools. You can almost make it an ongoing process. Anytime you have anything you feel like someone that you're working with needs information about, you can use these tools to get comments back from your coworkers. And just wonderful ways to really expand your business. So I'm going to take a look at the PowerPoints in the beginning and look at some of the changes that we've had in communication and where we stand with the social media right now. Uh-oh. I hear somebody's cell phone ringing.
Sorry about that, forgive me.
Okay, let's see here. Let's see what's going to show and not show up here. Stop the share. Get started. All right, do you all have this slideshow up there?
Yes.
All right, good. All right. Okay, so what we're going to be dealing with here is the fact that we are moving from an information age to a social age, and you all are going to, we're really kind of at the tail end of the information age and moving into the social age, where we're going to see social media playing a huge part in the business workplace. We'll talk about using the blogs, wikis, forums, and so on for different types of communication. We'll talk about using blogs where we communicate externally with our customers and our clients and so on. And then, as he mentioned in the original video, we're going to kind of finish up with maintaining our reputation online and the ethics of using social media for work. All right, this little guy is reprinted in your book on page 233, if you can't see him very well, but it does show you across the top there how we have changed over time in the workplace from an industrial age to an information age, and now we're moving into the social age. You can see there's a little bit of an overlap for each of these. The industrial age that's mentioned first up there, really didn't see a lot of communications between teams. There was more respect for the position someone was in, and whoever had the highest position was the one that had the power. There was a huge focus on efficiency. Again, it was the industrial age, so we were looking at manufacturing and how we could do that more efficiently and faster and better throughout time. And that went from the mid-1700s to 1985, so that age lasted for a very, very long time, and our country was really being built during that time frame. Now, starting in 1970 up through, they're predicting 2025, is the information age. So we're nearing the end of that. It's sort of in my lifespan in the workplace there. This is where we're seeing lots of two-way communication going on, teams, and knowledge was considered to be power during that time frame. We've already started into the final group. The social age starts, they identify about 2005, and don't know how long that will go on, but that's where we're moving into using network communication to share knowledge, not just to have knowledge, but to share it with everyone. Lots of teamwork type stuff where we are relying on people's transparency and honesty, ability to get along with each other. So you all are in a very good position to be moving into this era if you do know as much as you do about the social media uses in business. So the social age is the era where we're looking at network communication, or to collaborate across boundaries and all get together in order to solve problems. Of course, the internet development has had a lot to do with this change in our use of technology and so on throughout the years. When the web first came out, it's referred to as Web 1.0. Yeah, there were web pages. We could go on the internet and take a look at them, but they were basically read-only pages. They remained the same over time. They were not, you couldn't communicate back with them. I could go on and read about a company's website, but there was no way I could communicate back on that website. We are now in Web 2.0, which our websites now allow interaction with web pages. They're called read-write websites. So you can actually not only read what's there on the websites, but you can express your opinion, you can edit web content, you can customize, and so on. So we've made a big jump from Web 1.0 to Web 2.0. The users, of course, have had to adapt to this change as well. Under 1.0, that user was just going to read and search for content. There was no way to express an opinion. You got whatever the web delivered as it was. Email was determined to be the main communication tool, and we see that that still is a main communication tool in most businesses today, but we are quickly going into some other types there. The computer was the main access point, and you connected online for time-limited sessions under 1.0. Now, the reader in 2.0 is actively creating and sharing content, expressing their opinions, and even able to change the content that it gets presented. Web pages can be customized, the content can be customized. Programs from peer-to-peer are communication tools, not necessarily email as the communication tool. You don't have to just use a computer. You can use various different devices to connect under 2.0, and you're pretty much connected all online all the time, not just time-limited sessions. So we are moving more and more towards this Web 2.0 communication tools, and you're going to see a time period where a lot of businesses are still relying on email, but others are moving towards these social networking websites where we see things like user profiles, microblogs, blogs, wikis, and file upload. And I know at the college we've been moving towards that, and it's taken a little resistance because it's a little bit of a learning curve involved in some of the tools that are available. They're there for us to use, but we just don't know how to use them sometimes. Now, all this social media has developed because it does provide benefits to the company and to business professionals. Certainly one of the biggest advantages is that it now allows communication and collaboration among members of a team. It also allows for planning for succession, which means if you are leaving a team, if there's somebody new coming in, they can go and actually get in and see what's been there in the past. The tools can also be used for recruitment and onboarding, which means when you are first coming on the job, you can use the tools there to get more immersed into the culture of the business and learn some of the policies and so on. Great places for idea sharing, development and training, and then you get the whole additional aspect of being able to use these tools with your customers, your suppliers, and your partners. That means it's going to take less time to get your new products and services to the market. You'll have more creativity and innovation available to approach work problems. Don't have to travel quite as much, so you're saving some resources and time needed for meetings that are face-to-face. The professional itself will be able to help build their networks in and out of the company. They will be able to get other people's expertise and knowledge more rapidly. And then it might be a better place to work. You'll have a little bit of camaraderie with your peers. So those are all good things of social media. On the downside, there are challenges both to the company and the professional. For one thing, some companies just might resist adopting some of these tools or using it throughout the company. And then some of the tools may get revised frequently. So you may learn one tool for a while and then all of a sudden you that would go by the wayside and something new comes. Confusion over which communication channels to use. Okay, in the past, when you were communicated to, everything was sent by email. Now I got to go look somewhere else to find that information. And which one is so-and-so posting to? Gives kind of an option for some distractions because there could be too much socializing going on some of these tools. And there is less control over the information because everyone can contribute. There haven't been much in the way of rewards connected to using this type of communication and collaboration. In the past, you could usually point your finger at someone who was responsible for creating a new product, for instance. Now, everything might be a team-developed product, so how do we go about rewarding our teams for these types of new innovations? One big problem is that once we are moving into this socially networked media, your professional life and your private life may start to blend, okay? And probably most of us know that we do want to keep some boundaries between the two. We might be actually producing less because we're so busy multitasking if we have all these ways to connect with everyone. Might be an opportunity for some folks to want to try to show off themselves, show that they are doing things so that everybody else can see, so that might be a downside. And then if you're going to use these tools to broadcast to audiences other than just the people in your team or maybe other than just the people in your company, there could be some problems with mistakes and incompetence coming out. So that might not be caught until it actually hits a larger audience. So we're going to address these 6 items here as we talk about how we're going to use these social media tools. We're going to talk about using your dashboard to control your communication flow, creating a profile, using blogs and status updates for team communication, use shared files to collaborate, solve problems with discussion forums, and then a few other tools. We'll mention those as well. But nearly all the software systems for social media contain something called a dashboard. A dashboard is your first page when you log in, your front page. It's sort of the hub for everything. You can go from your dashboard to other places in your web page, for instance, or your program or whatever. Most of the time you can customize that dashboard to display the things that most interest you. So you're, of course, going to have the opportunity, if you're customizing something, to make a very good dashboard that's easy for other people to use, or one that's not so good. All right, a blog, I'm hoping that most of you have actually read some blogs in your lifetime, but they're usually blogs from a personal standpoint. But they can be used in a business sense as well. A blog is a post that is arranged sort of like a journal is, chronologically. Somebody's communicating information like on a daily basis. Somebody might do a blog for a vacation that they took, and each day they post some information for that whole vacation trip. That's a personal type blog, but these types of things offer opportunities for managers, supervisors, to keep your employees aware of any announcements and updates. So it's a tool for them to go to read about what's happening in the company, what's new and interesting. Now, a microblog is also called a status update, and that usually just has a few sentences, where a blog might have a whole page worth of information. A microblog will just broadcast quick announcements and urgent information. Once again, you can see you have some problems because people need to know that they need to check these blogs frequently, and that might be something that slips their mind. Because we're so used to going to our email to check things, we might not remember to check our blogs or microblogs, or even we have team blogs where there are formal work teams that set up a page where they can put information up for team members to use, and then project blogs that are developed when there's a special project going on, and the team is usually going to be temporary in that case. Do I have anybody in any of the classes that's ever created a blog? You ever read them? Yeah, you haven't? Okay. Just kind of depends on what you happen up on sometimes, that you might read an entire blog that somebody has done, but there are zillions of them out there, and you have to remember when you read these blogs that just because you read it doesn't mean that it's always accurate. So very, very careful with that. All right. This is an example of a blog used for internal announcements. So it is totally within the company. It's not going outside of the organization. This is on page 237 in your textbook. I'm sure that's difficult to read. This blog is giving an announcement about seasonal employees. You'll notice that it doesn't really say, I need you to do anything. It says they're just trying to keep people updated. And this particular one says that the company typically hires seasonal employees during the holidays. They're young adults that come from the local communities, things like, college students that are home on break and that kind of thing. They've been having some difficulty getting people to apply for those jobs, and it's getting even harder, it looks like. This person is updating the company by saying that he or she met with the president of a temporary service there, and they have given some additional information that can impact their seasonal hires. There are actually fewer people in their 18 to 25-year-old grouping looking for temporary work. So that has really impacted their ability to hire people. The one that she talked to actually deals with temporary workers for retail and hospitality businesses, and they're going to come up with a proposal to help attract some folks for this temporary hiring season. So notice that it just ends up, it doesn't really say, I need you to do anything about this, but it's just keeping you up to date. And it's, that she's actually planning to use the service if possible, and ends up saying that should take some stress off of each of you. Now, there's a place at the end of the blog where those who read the blog can add a comment. If we go on to the next page, we'll see that a couple of employees have commented. One of them makes a point that hiring group can do sort of a partial job or a full hiring job. And then another asking a question, if we outsource to this temporary service, then will I still be able to pick my own employees to work during that time frame? There's like and unlike buttons up there, so you can get a feel for what people are thinking about when they read not only the blog, but the comments as well. So, I mean, that's something that you obviously would not need to call a full staff meeting for, but something that you thought was worthy enough that you wanted to inform the people in your organization of what was going on. So, wonderful, wonderful little place to put that out. Nobody's going to see it other than the people within the organization. Using shared files is something that our college has been going to more and more. This is where you have a file that you have created that you can share with your coworkers, and you can give them the ability to edit those files. It allows you to organize your files by project. You can manage who can and cannot actually change the files. You can see constructive comments being added, and then you want to carefully read what all of your colleagues are commenting. With shared files, we've run into a few problems since there are being shared and can be edited by other people. Sometimes the editing replaces what was there previously, and we can't keep track of what was there. I know we used a shared file to input book orders for the last couple of semesters. So the person in charge of collecting the data for the book orders sends out an Excel file that has a place for us to put the class name and the name of the textbook and the publisher and how many copies we need the bookstore to order and that sort of stuff. You can edit it, so you can add yours. So like I would put my books in there, and then another instructor would put theirs, and another instructor would put theirs. The problem is that occasionally an instructor might delete something that somebody else had put there, or alter it, and without really the ability to do so. So just realize that when you use shared files, then you're allowing people to actually change the data on those files. Now, other people use discussion forums to help with problem solving. And I think most of you all are familiar with the discussion forums that are used in Blackboard. So this is very similar, except that they are discussion forums that are set up for our companies to use to discuss certain problems that are going on at work or projects or something like that. There's several things you should avoid when you are replying to a discussion forum. Okay? You don't want to post something that leads somebody to lead one direction or another. You don't want to avoid the comments that you get that might differ from yours. Don't complain, don't blame, don't use strong language. Try to stay on topic. Okay? Don't write too long a post or too short a post, and avoid sarcasm. Sarcasm is very hard to interpret in written formats. So to make a discussion forum more effective, make sure you read your peers' comments completely and carefully. State the purpose of the forum clearly. Why are you posting this in the very first place? Use flexible, open, and inviting language. You want people to feel like that their comments are welcome, and then build on other people's posts. Show appreciation. Participate often. If you get to a place where the topic is a really touchy subject, then they suggest get off the discussion board and actually meet face to face. It's a real tough. You need to summarize and identify any steps that are necessary after the posts go on. And talk with your team about a way to make a forum help your decision making and coordination. Okay, we have a very tiny picture there of an example of a forum conversation. It's much easier to read on page 241. Even then, the print is little, and I have to get my readers out to be able to see it. But what you're seeing there is an initial forum established with a title there, creating a policy for front desk employees giving refunds that makes for happy employees and satisfied guests. Okay, so there's an initial post, and then other people are all responding to that post. You can reply to individual responses, create threads that way. What? 8.7 is on page 241. Did I say 243? I'm sorry.
No, it's only 243, not 8.
Oh, what's on 2? Oh, the ineffective one is on 241. Yeah. Thank you. The 8.7 is on 243, actually. Okay. your textbook gives you an example of one that's not good, and then they show you one that's good. So we're actually looking at the good one, which is on 243, 8.7. We kind of skipped over the bad one. The bad one had examples of things like complaining and getting off topic and that sort of stuff. Okay? Now this one is a much better one. You can see right away that the one thing they did was shorten the title of the discussion of the whole board there. So, and hopefully in that one you're actually getting to a point where something is accomplished rather than just going out and never laying with things. It's building upon other people's ideas. Okay, now when you're doing blogs or posts outside of the company where other people are going to see them, you're really trying to maintain effective public relations for your organization. And public relations is dealing with building relationships with your employees, your customers, the community, the media, and other stakeholders. Try to improve your corporate reputation or your credibility. Corporate reputation is something that you can't really touch and feel. It's intangible. It allows a company to manage the expectations of its stakeholders. Okay, so the responses can be accumulated, and you can react better to your either your customers or employees or any stakeholders' needs and interests. It's an asset. It's valuable. A company's reputation is very valuable. I saw the last couple of days we've seen some airlines' reputations drop off. First, there was several incidences with Southwest Airlines where a customer got sucked out of a window and things blew up and that kind of thing. But even more recently, American Airlines had some computer glitches and people were stranded without connecting flights, and it affected even small airports like Lynchburg, but Charlotte, some of those surrounding areas, and that has damaged their corporate reputation. Now, when your company's reputation gets damaged, what's the first thing your customers are going to do? They're going to go somewhere else, right? They're going to go to the competition. So it's a very valuable asset, and you can use these blogs and things as a way to keep that reputation up. Now, this is a blog that's actually meant for a press release, and I see these frequently come from companies. They'll if you go to their website, you might find a press release link where they are releasing information for the media to use. This is figure 8.8 on 246. Let's make sure I have the right page there. And so this company, Prestigio Market Restaurant, is coming up with some new menu items, and they are doing a press release for the media, hoping that the media will pick up on this and give them some exposure to their customers or potential customers. So in a press release type blog post, you're going to see a headline. Notice this one is the Prestigio Market Restaurant adds spice to the menu. You'll see a date line. This one was July 18th, 2016. And you want that date on there because reading an old post makes it, or if you don't even know what date it is, you don't know whether to believe it or not. You'll see the story itself Contact information down at the very bottom there. Okay. It's written in third person. Okay. So doesn't say I or you. Then we have another type of blog post called an op-ed style blog post. And this one is on the very next page. It is referring to a post that gives out some information about the opportunities that are out there, some educational. In other words, it's just providing information that you did not know before. This one, green meetings to make us leaner and improve the bottom line. Okay. So it's just giving you information. It's educating you about something that you might not have known about before. So social media is extremely important and growing dramatically, but you need to follow some guidelines. You do have to be an active contributor, and you do have to join communities. You gotta read, you gotta listen, you gotta learn from these posts. Focus on the content. If you're posting something, make sure it's accessible to everyone. Make your messages authentic and friendly. Be responsive and help others. Respect the boundaries and avoid oversharing. Okay? You know, once you put something out there, it can be shared anywhere in the world. So just be very careful with that. Now, what about your own reputation online? Not your company's, but your own reputation. That deals with your set of professional skills and attributes that others associate with you. That's called your personal brand. And here are some suggestions for developing a credible online reputation. Okay, this one is for family and friends. So family blog might be an example here. To establish a reputation, you can say things like, I'm a good listener, I can take care of you, I hope the best for you, you can always count on me, you can trust me, I'm a fun person. All of those things are dealing with your competence, your caring, and your character. So if you are looking for establishing a reputation that says you're loyal and committed, you can go down that list on the right and see that a message that includes something that you can always count on me would be a good thing to include. If you're doing a blog or a wiki for your company, either professionally or private, for your work colleagues, again, I will get the job done, I'm a good team member, I want you to succeed, I want to work with you, I'll do what I say I'll do, I'll abide by the rules. Again, you're hitting the confidence, the caring, and the character. Okay. Again, good skills to have there to let people know that you are dependable, you are sincere, you're caring, and so on. All right, how about a blog that's going out to the public, to society, or something like Facebook that's actually a social networking site? Okay? Talented, skilled, capable, you can say, I have certain abilities. Determined, focused, driven. I have certain interests. independent. I want to share my experiences and ideas. And so on down the list there. I live my life according to certain beliefs. I have certain social values and priorities. So think about your Facebook use. Do you think that if someone was reading what you were posting on Facebook, would they be able to tell anything about your competence, your caring, and your character? And lastly, we have professional social networking sites like LinkedIn. Use words like I am an expert, I want to lead, I want to share, I want to understand, I'm committed to my industry, I think my profession should maintain high standards, and so on. Hitting again that competence, the caring, and the character in statements that can be interpreted appropriately from outside of your organization for professional use. Notice that when you are using social media, it's more than just your online reputation at stake. It's also the reputation of your company. The line between what you believe is private use and your role as an employee, sometimes you can't even decipher where that line is, because your private actions can damage your employer and hurt your career. I have heard many situations where someone posted something on Facebook, their boss, their supervisor, saw it, and it was clearly not appropriate, even though it was personal. The person got called into the office and told to take something down. Okay? Remember, wherever you go, not just for social media, but when I go to the grocery store, I'm not just representing Diane Henderson, I'm representing Southside Virginia Community College, because so many people tie those two together. Okay? You just have to be very careful, because you are a representative of the company that you work for. Okay? I would not personally post a lot of political things on social media. Okay? For one thing, you're opening yourself up to a lot of unpleasant discussions sometimes. But another thing is it might damage your reputation at work. Okay? Just like I try, when I come in here to the classroom, I try to put a line between my personal and my professional life. I want to get to know you all and be friendly and enjoy the contributions that you have to the classroom and that sort of thing. But getting into a debate over immigration, for instance, might not be a wise thing to do if I'm letting my personal beliefs. Now, if it's a debate that's showing the positive and the negative from student viewpoints, that's okay. If I'm in an economics class and immigration comes up as an idea we need to discuss, that's great. But I try not to influence with my personal beliefs because it is a reputation of my company as well. I know that when you are first beginning job hunting, one of the things you want to do is to go back and look at your social media sites and see what's on there, because potential employers will go to Facebook and look you up. Okay? And if all they see is you boozing it up and partying, they may not decide to hire you. I've known that some people they create different names for social media because they don't want organizations to be able to find them. Okay? I know with my daughter, I've mentioned plenty of times before, she worked for Disney for a while. they were not allowed to post pictures from Facebook where they had alcohol in their hands, even if it was nothing at all to do with Disney, but they were known as Disney employees, and Disney did not want that reputation. Just be very, very careful what you post. Sometimes it absolutely amazes me what people will post. Absolutely amazes me. All right, so our takeaways to take a look at how we got to this social age, how we're going to use blogs, wikis, forums, how we're going to communicate outside of our companies, our online reputation and our personal reputation, as well as our company reputation, ethically using this media. So that kind of finishes up with the PowerPoints. Does anybody have any questions for any of these? Y'all are so tech savvy that I'm sure that you know lots and lots and lots about these types of media, but I know personally I've never written a blog. I lost me. Oh, lost again. There we go. Not that y'all need to see the big blown up version of things like, I'm sure you will find it much easier to adapt to some of these types of information tools than, say, I have over the past. So, let's face it, when I came along, we had telephones, and that was about it. So, and even some of those had more than one line on them, and you had a special ring for your phone, and your next door neighbor had a different ring. So, things have changed. I'm thrilled to be a part of all the changes, but it's time for you all to pick up and move on into the future with the other changes that are coming along. So keep up with your ability to adapt frequently and easily to these types of changes. Okay, let's take our break then. We got 3 o'clock, so about 3:15, 3:20, somewhere like that. We'll come back in and take a look at a few things. And I will see you back in a few minutes. Okay, folks, I've got the recording back on, and I thought what we would do would be take a look at some examples of some of the tools that we use at Southside other than email. But before I do that, let's see, I can't tell what happened to Lee Hall. Is she still there in Keysville, or did she leave?
She left.
She left? Well, I was going to answer her question about the RSVP thing, so I'll get a hold of her and do that later. Shucks. If you are interested, the RSVP that we were talking about on Tuesday should look something sort of like this one. I'm going to share the screen for you. This is the test that I had the technology people do for me, but it was an invitation. It's just made up some stuff there to something on Friday the 22nd from 9:30 to 10:30, and you could just click on yes, maybe, no. And that's what Lee wanted to do. So it is done through Google Calendar. Okay, and if you all do this, so that are used to using your email, your Southside email, if you go up here to where these little dots are, it's sort of like a Rubik's Cube, and you click on that, you'll find the calendar right there. And that's where you can set up your meetings and have the RSVPs done. And she's going to actually create a set of instructions so that you know how to do it, but get used to playing around with some of those little things that are there. So that's your calendar. The other thing that I was going to show you are some of the shared documents that we use shared files for. One of them that's been updated frequently are the instructions when you have to get something proctored. And occasionally the emails will change for who we contact, so we get instructions there. Okay? But I can't just go in and start typing my information there because that would change it for everybody. So before I begin making changes on this file, I have to save it under another file name and then make changes to that. So that's the problem with shared files. Anything I change here, it changes it for everybody. Okay? Changes it absolutely for everybody, which has its good and its bad. So there's lots of other tools that you can use there. Let's see. If I go to my Google Drive, I can see any files that have been shared with me. Lots of things that people are sharing with me that I can go in and see through my actual drive. The drive itself is a cloud drive, so I don't have to worry about losing data all the time. So that's one good thing. So that's an example of shared files. But again, I have to, in order to go in and check these, I actually have to get an email from somebody that says go check it, or else I won't remember to do it. Okay, that's a big problem there. All right. Now let me show you another one. Another version of files that are being shared, not just with my folks in Southside, but if I go to Blackboard, yeah, this is available just for teachers. Down at the side there, I will see some organizations that I belong to. For instance, the Accounting Peer Group.
We don't see it.
Oh, you don't see it? Okay, let me. Oh, I have to share again. I'm sorry. You see now?
Yes.
Okay. The Accounting Peer Group has its own little spot where they can post information, and I can go in and look and check on meetings that we're having and minutes to the meetings and see who the members are, and I can respond to these and so on. So that's another place where we are communicating just for a particular group, but I am communicating with other accounting instructors throughout the whole Virginia Community College system. Okay? So many, many tools are there. I just have to remember to look at them. That's the main thing. All right, let me go back to our class, and we're going to take a look at the video. That summarizes things here a little bit. Lost all my little people here. Okay. And let's see. Okay, you guys got the video up there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
In this presentation, I'm going to explain how social media and electronic communication are revolutionizing business communication on the job and in the classroom. In this presentation, you'll learn the answers to these important questions. What's the difference between social media and electronic communication? How is social media changing how we communicate? And how do the answers to these questions affect the distribution of your business communication plan? Electronic communication is any communication done electronically. All social media are part of electronic communication, and not all electronic communication is social media. For example, an Adobe PDF document, a Word document, a PowerPoint presentation, or an RSS newsfeed are all examples of electronic communication, but none are considered part of social media, although there are many ways in which you can use these tools in social media methods. Ryan Solis, social media guru, answers the question in this chart: what is social media? As you can see from the chart, there are many different types of social media. For example, there could be sites where pictures and video are put, or marketable sites such as Twitter, or social networking sites such as Facebook, or wiki sites such as Twitch, or platforms for creating a blog post such as WordPress. There are about 2 dozen different types of social media, and within those types, there are hundreds of specific media. In Bowman Bill's text, this is how we describe social media. Social media are electronic media that transform passive audiences into passive participants in the communication process by allowing them to share content, revise content, respond to content, or contribute new content. In short, social media is a conversation supported by online tools. Tools like these: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Flickr, Pinterest, and Google+. Facebook, a social networking site, is the #1 website worldwide with 14 views in Google. If Facebook was a country, it would be #3 after China and India. Facebook is a site where users can build a profile, add friends, send messages, become fans of pages, indicate they like something, click a button, find out about events, and join groups. Users can also interact with businesses. More than 50,000 retailers in thousands of countries have Facebook pages. For example, people can order tickets for Delta Airlines right on Facebook. On YouTube, the average user spends 15 minutes a day on this site. 60 hours of video is loaded on YouTube every minute. More video is uploaded to YouTube in 60 days, and all 3 major US networks created in 60 years. There are more than 120 million videos on YouTube. 25% are using a mobile phone. YouTube is translated into 51 languages by Google's automatic speech recognition technology. 70% of YouTube's viewers are outside of the US. A recent survey suggested that video company profiles on YouTube have more measurable impact than company profiles on Facebook, LinkedIn, and other common sites. There are a number of microblogging tools, all require short messages. The most popular microblog is Twitter. On Twitter, messages must be 140 characters or less. Twitter has over 554 million registered users, but only 200 million are regular users. 135,000 new users are registered each day. 60% of people using Twitter on a mobile phone. There's an average of 58 million tweets per day. Users submit 2.1 billion search queries a day to Twitter search engine. Twitter has many business uses, including research, collaboration, company updates, coupons and notices of sales, tips on product usage, information from experts, customer service with individuals, and as a back channel for meetings and presentations.
By back channel, I'm referring to a real-time online conversation that is occurring currently in these presentations. A back channel can provide audience members a chance to fact check the speaker by checking with experts or listening to reference material or an opportunity to discuss points the speaker is making. Social networking and blogging sites are now the most popular activity online, followed by getting or receiving email, watching YouTube videos, using a search engine, or playing games. 75% of Americans and 66% of the global internet population visit social networks. 93% of Americans believe they are lucky to have a presence on social media sites. 85% believe that these sites should use these services to interact with customers. Social media is not a fad. It's a fundamental shift in the way that all of us are communicating. Companies are no longer in control of their messaging and must adapt to a world where customers and other stakeholders demand to participate in and influence the conversation. The old communication model was a monologue. We talk, we listen. The new communication model is a dialogue, which is transparent, authentic, vibrant, and considerate. In a social media environment, effective communication is no longer about broadcasting a tightly controlled message, but rather about initiating conversation and participating in conversations started by customers and other stakeholders. This year, millennials and Gen Yers are now outnumbering baby boomers. Millennials spend 16 hours a week online. 96% have joined a social network. They have an average of 53 online friends. 70% of them trust recommendations of consumers they don't know. 90% of them trust recommendations by people they do. In short, they don't care about ads and sales presentations. They care about what their friends think. Millennials and Gen Yers also expect to be able to use social media on the job. Networks and letters still have a role, to be sure, but they're being replaced in many instances by a growing variety of electronic media. These destructive forces never stop moving. Some first-generation electronic media are already being supplanted by new media tools. For example, in many instances, microblogs, blogs, news feeds, and social networking sites are replacing email. Emphasizing the tools students will be expected to use on the job is critical, but even that is only part of the story. Even more important than the tools themselves is the profound shift that these tools have enabled, which needs to be explained to students. Businesses that stick with the old, we talk to listen over the unilateral communication, increasingly find that nobody is willing to listen anymore. So to succeed in this new business environment, business communicators must approach their tasks with a new mindset, in addition to these new tools. After the shift to Web 1.0's unidirectional model to Web 2.0's interactive conversational model, programs don't call this new approach business communication 2.0. Many years of reading the market and presenting social and electronic media users have caused us merely adding a chapter on topics to a traditional textbook is not nearly enough. Social media and electronic communication are so pervasive in business today, they need to be further integrated in the textbook and in the course. That's why John Phil and I continue to revise our textbooks in order to fully integrate the skills and issues that are important in today's workplace.
Okay, we'll stop there because most of the rest of it is him selling his textbook. But I think that kind of puts us in a strange place as we are teaching this class because we are transitioning so much away from memos and letters. Now we're transitioning away from email. So that first few chapters that I have taught you, those tools have not gone by the wayside, but they may go completely away by the time you are finished with your business careers. Just be aware of the impact of the social media and how very important it is. I liked his showing that 1.0 was they talk, we listen, versus now we have a conversation. So we are now communicating back and forth rather than just directly to with no input. So keep that in mind. That puts more of the burden on you to be an active participant in the conversation. We're going to have some rain, aren't we? It's supposed to be Okay. Didn't touch a thing.
That sounded
I
good.
know. The ghost star in our thing. Let me see if I can get it to turn back on. Our screen just went up. We are scheduled to have thunderstorms, I know. So it is rain. Looks like it's raining. Is it coming down, or is it just really dark out there right now?
It's raining yet, isn't it? It's not raining yet.
I am going to call it quits. Just a reminder that there's that extra assignment that's on there that's not due until July 1st. So you can go ahead and get going with that. Let's see if I can get.
Yeah, the day just went up.
Huh?
The day just like went up.
I got it coming back down, and I at least need to put some closure on this for everybody. I turned it off when I came in today, so I think it must have a top on it or something. Didn't know I'd been here that long though. Okay, it looks like we are actually on, but I don't know whether I have to establish communication or not, so I'm just going to go ahead and call it quits, and I'll end the recording and put it up for everybody. If it didn't record the last few minutes, you know you didn't miss much. So that'll be it for you today. So y'all be careful going home. You guys and Daniel, wave at me if you heard any of that. Okay, good, good. Our computer just cut off on us. Said, go home, have a good weekend.